seen in someone else's perspective. The NBA, the MLB, the NFL, NCAA, everything sports related. Seen by Steve Parsons' perspective. It's the SB Show. SB Show with Steve Parsons exclusively on YouTube. Here is your host, Steve Parsons.
Alright guys, welcome to the NFL Draft Day special of the SB Show. So in this episode, this show, it will be dedicated to the NFL Draft. I will talk about and analyze every key player that is in the draft. What I think their contributions will be with their NFL franchise, and where I think they will go in the draft. So let's get started. We're going to do 2 rounds every segment. So let's get started. On the screen, you will see the profile that I created for the players. You will see their names, their pictures, and their stats for last year in college. You will also see where I project them to be and pretty much their profile that I created for them. So once you hear their names, it will pop up on the screen, it will pop up on their screen. So I'm just not going to read out their stats, and you will just see them on the screen, but I'm just going to talk about where I think they're going to go, their contributions, and that sort, and why I place them there. So let's get to it. First player, Andrew Luck. So, kind of notorious, first overall. So Andrew Luck, he didn't throw in the combine, but his athleticism, it was terrific. He posted the same 40, broad jump, and vertical leap as Cam Newton. They like to compare Luck to Peyton Manning because of the Indianapolis connection, but Luck is more like Aaron Rodgers, and it will be even more dangerous in Lucas Oil. So we know this pick will be Luck. There's not much doubt about that. There are talks that the Colts are interested in Griffin, but it's not going to happen. I don't see it happening. So there you guys go. Andrew Luck, number 1 overall to the Indianapolis Colts. Next we have Washington Redskins selecting Robert Griffin III, 2nd overall. So Redskins, they might be a playoff team over the next 10 years because of this. They didn't give up too much for this trade that pushed them up. They gave up 3 first-rounders and a second-rounder. Especially, it's a good one because they don't have to give up $50 million guaranteed to the right. They don't have to give it away immediately. This was also a good trade for the Rams, though. They're going to be in good position for their roster to improve with all these first-rounders. The only losers in this deal are the Browns and teams in the NFC East, who will now have to deal with a quarterback who looks like he can be the next Steve Young. So, this pick has also been sort of sealed. I mean, why would the Redskins trade up to get someone other than him, you know? So they're going to be potentially a good team with him in their roster, but you never know. He could just fail, you know, like Ryan Fitzpatrick doing amazingly well in the beginning, but then failed. So Robert Griffin III, 2nd overall to the Washington Redskins. 3rd overall, Minnesota Vikings select Matt Kalil, offensive tackle. So this is kind of sealed as well. The Vikings are just, they need somebody at, well, the left tackle is their major problem. Charlie Johnson has just he stinks. They need to make sure that Christian Ponder is well protected. Matt Kalil's perfect protection. He did great with Matt Barkley in USC. So he is, by the way, the best non-quarterback in this class. So it's a perfect fit for the Vikings. Pretty much these picks are just set in stone. So, by the way, these type of teams, like the Vikings, they just don't pick cornerbacks in the top 3. They just don't. That's a stupid move for them. So they shouldn't. So Vikings, I have them picking Matt Khalil, number 3 overall from USC. Cleveland Browns, 4th overall, select Trent Richardson, running back. I mean, this is the highest probability move that they will do with the 4th pick. Second highest and probable would be Ryan Tannehill getting a franchise quarterback. They are struggling in the quarterback because Colt McCoy is just not the solution long term. So I think they should get Trent Richardson to make up for Peyton Hillis going to Kansas City, and also they just need a solid running back. Trent Richardson would be perfect in Cleveland. Of course, they should still get a quarterback, but I just don't see that happening in this round. I'll say who they should get and where and when later on in the draft special. So Trent Richardson, number 4 overall to the Cleveland Browns. Number 5, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Morris Claiborne, cornerback. So they should get Morris Claiborne because, I mean, they have Aqib Talib maybe going to jail. They have Rondy Barber done, and they have Eric Wright, who stinks. The corner position is a great need for Tampa. So with LSU secondary coach Ron Cooper hired to be Tampa's defensive backs coach, Claiborne makes huge sense in this scenario. Even though their other option, if Trent Richardson is available, they might want to get him because LeGarrette Blount isn't the best. He can't catch the ball and he doesn't understand pass protection schemes. There's a reason why the coaching staff just don't use him in passing situations. He's just completely lost. It doesn't help. And it doesn't help that he fumbles the ball on every opportunity. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, number 5, select Morris Claiborne. Number 6, I have Justin Blackmon. I really don't think he should drop all the way down here, but you just can't pick him all the way up there either. So Justin Claiborne, a wide receiver. I mean, they need a wide receiver. They lost Brandon Lloyd for a 4th round pick. So, and they got Brandon Lloyd for a 4th round pick. Yeah, from the Denver Broncos. But then he signed with New England, so they lost him. Blackmon would be excellent. You know, he's perfect. He's great. He can definitely help them out. He can do tons more better things than Brandon Lloyd would have done. Even though other possibilities would be Morris Claiborne, which he would look great across from Cortland Finnegan. And they could also get Fletcher Cox, defensive tackle from Mississippi State. It's a great scheme fit for the Rams, but picking him would be a great way to ruin Bradford's career. He's just not a better prospect than Blackmon anyway, so I'd prefer to give St. Louis a D in draft grades, because I mean, if they get Fletcher Cox, I mean, they just wouldn't have a successful draft. He just doesn't fit there. You know? Right. Number 7, Jacksonville Jaguars select Melvin Ingram, defensive end, South Carolina. Huge need for Jacksonville. Huge. Because the Colts are going to draft Andrew Luck. Matt Schaub is coming back for Houston. Jake Locker has shown potential in Tennessee. So if they want to be competitive, they need to apply as much pressure as possible on the quarterback. So Melvin Ingram would be perfect. Other options would be Michael Floyd, wide receiver from Notre Dame. It can give weapons and add blockers to Blaine Gabbert. Even though he might lose his job, he's just not doing a great job. And Justin Blackmon, wide receiver from Oklahoma State, he can be an option. But if he doesn't make it a number 7, the Jaguars are probably going to try to trade down. Even though Blackmon, he has Jacksonville as the preferred. Never mind. I mean Jacksonville has their preferred prospect as being Blackmon, but they might not get him. so they're gonna have to try to trade down. So, but I have Melvin Ingram going here unless that scenario happens. Ryan Tannehill, quarterback, Texas A&M. I have him going number 8 to Miami Dolphins. Only because they missed on Peyton Manning, they missed on Matt Flynn, and they missed on Alex Smith. They need a quarterback because Matt Moore is just not in the long-term scenario, you know. But other options, Melvin Ingram, just mentioned them. He could be a solid pass rusher across from Cameron Wake. He'd be great in Miami's 4-3-3-4 flex defense. Riley Reef, offensive tackle. I have him as another option. Another hole on Miami's roster is at right tackle. Next, you have the Carolina Panthers. I did think about putting Dontari Poe here, but Luke Quetchley from Boston College is the best prospect available. He's a linebacker from Boston College. I mean, he doesn't fill a huge need, but the position has to be addressed because Thomas Davis is just way too unreliable. He's too talented to just not pick him. But other possibilities, Dontari Poe, defensive tackle. They might take Poe, but I don't see it happening. I mean, it might. There's a huge possibility, but I don't think so. And then other possibility, Michael Floyd, wide receiver. He can be considered a great number 2 option for Cam Newton. So we're gonna try to speed up. So I have Buffalo Bills, Riley Reef, offensive tackle from Iowa. Other options, Michael Floyd and Luke Quetchley. I have Kansas City getting David DeCastro, guard from Stanford. Other options, Dontari Poe and Luke Quetchley. Alright, Seattle Seahawks. I did have Kirk Cousins. I just don't think he's going to go first round, so I just think they should go for Quinton Copeles. I did think about sending Copeles to Carolina, but I don't think he's going to go that high. So Quinton Copeles, offensive end from North Carolina, going to Seattle. Other options, Luke Quetchley and Riley Reef. Alright, Arizona Cardinals, number 13, Michael Floyd. They do have Larry Fitzgerald and Anquan Boldin. No, I mean Anquan Boldin. They used to have Anquan Boldin, but now they have Larry Fitzgerald. They should get Michael Floyd so he can be the next generation wide receiver and just play more minutes. I just don't think Larry Fitzgerald is going to play huge game minutes. So Michael Floyd, number 13, Arizona. Other options, Riley Reef. So they can upgrade their protection to make sure Kevin Kolb doesn't get pressure too much, and David DeCastro as well, guard from Stanford. Alright, number 14, here we go. Dallas Cowboys getting Dontari Poe. They really need him. No, other options, Quinton Copeles or Fletcher Cox, and Mark Barron, strong safety from Alabama. Number 15, great need in defensive tackle. Well, Philadelphia Eagles are going to change that if they get Fletcher Cox from Mississippi State. Even though other options, Riley Reef, offensive tackle, Stephon Gilmore or Drake Kirkpatrick, cornerback. But an option many have spoken about, Ryan Tannehill, quarterback. If he falls to number 7, the Eagles should get him. Michael Vick is not a long-term choice. Number 16, New York Jets. They've wanted a safety for a long time. They should get it. Mark Barron from Alabama. Other options, Courtney Upshaw or Nick Perry, defensive end / offensive linebacker. Other option, Michael Floyd / Kendall Wright, wide receiver. Since they don't have Plaxico Burress and Santonio Holmes won't be able to play too long, they should get one of these players for that pick. So now, let's go to the 17th pick. So with the 17th pick, you have the Cincinnati Bengals selecting Drake Kirkpatrick, cornerback from Alabama. Other choices, Trent Richardson, running back, and Janoris Jenkins or Stephon Gilmore, cornerbacks. Next, you have, the Chicago Bears, number 19, selecting Kendall Wright, wide receiver.